Coming to you live from New York City, it's Jim Caruso's Pajama Cast Party. And now, here's your host, Jim Caruso.
Oh, welcome. Hi, how the hell are you? My name is Jim Caruso. You have found us at Pajama Cast Party. Could not be happier that you're here. I have a voice this week. Last week, total laryngitis. Screeched my way through the show anyway. And it's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. We have such a great show for you tonight. I'm really excited and thrilled. We have Shereen Pimentel. We have Hailey Brinnel. And we have Guettel. 3 guests who have EL at the end of their name. What are the chances of that? Which I just realized as I was saying their name. Jackie Joseph, I see you out there. I know you're watching. I saw your little comment. Thank you so much. Welcome. Well, look, there it is. Now, I just have to say something weird. On July 3rd, I bought helium balloons for a piece that I did for New York One Network. And so I bought red, white, and blue balloons. And they told me the metallic kind lasts longer. This is July 3rd. What? Why would anybody need helium balloons for 3 weeks? These things are still... What the hell? I don't know what it means. There's some kind of voodoo in their helium. But if anybody needs any helium balloons, I got some. Okay. Before we go any further, I want to tell you about who's coming up next week, because it's going to be a killer. Ruby, pull it up. We have musical theater star and the winner of the Broadway World Next on Stage competition, Jackson Perry, country crooner Randy Austin, and Tony winner Stephanie J. Block. I know. It's going to be really good. I think this is the perfect time to bring Ruby Lochner to the stage. Oh, Ruby.
Oh, Jim.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I know. I was fine all day till literally right now. Now I'm all hoarse and husky.
It's, you know what? It's in the air. Did you hear that there's smoke in New York from the other side of the country?
That can't be. Is that why the sun was red last night? Did you see that?
I'm gonna say yes. I am no weatherman, but I am going to say yes.
We need to get Sam Champion on the show. He's a friend of mine. He'd be fun.
Or I wonder if like Steve Kornacki sings while he draws on a board.
I pick Sam Champion, but
yeah.
Hey, Steve, if you're watching, please join us. Now, here's the thing. You know, we've been doing this show for 67 weeks. Every single week, we have brought you the pleasures of Pajama Cast Party. And here's why. Because you guys have been so generous. You have done wonderful donations through Venmo and PayPal. And through that, we've been able to, yes, pay for the platform and an occasional balloon. But also, we've been able to send a nice donation every week to Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, or the Actors Fund. Same this week. So feel free to Venmo your heart out, PayPal us. And while we're talking about this kind of stuff, Ruby, don't you think they could share?
Well, it's the least you could do.
Not that share, but different share.
Oh, well, maybe they can share, like actually share our show while sharing, and it will be twice as fun. No, please, if you can't send us a tip, which those are always appreciated, but if you can't and you're still looking for ways to support not only us, but all the live streams that you watch, Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube.
But mostly us. Yes, go ahead.
Mostly us. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Like and share if you're watching on Facebook. And would it kill you to follow us on social media? We are literally you could not get rid of us even if you wanted to. We are both on Instagram. It's just our name. I mean, the easiest way to find us is by our names. We're everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Clubhouse. Truly, if you're looking for us, you will find us. And even if you're not looking for us, you will find us.
MySpace.
Not so much, but everything else you can find us. But as far as tips and donations, they are so appreciated every single week. We truly have the best audience in the world, and it's what helps to make sure that we continue doing this every single week. It pays for the platform, and it also just makes sure that we can keep this going, because putting on a live stream every single week, while it might not seem like work, we love the work, but it is work. That's true. But it doesn't feel like work because we absolutely love doing this.
Well, you are you are leading the glamorous life, my friend. You were in Los Angeles, producing, and you're just working nonstop.
It was a crazy week. I flew to LA for a producing job. And what's crazier is it was still a virtual producing job, but I went to a soundstage in LA to produce it, which was crazy. And then I flew from there to Utah to spend the week with my mom at the beautiful Sundance Resort for her birthday, where she played a show and I got to sing, which was great. It was my first time in an airport in over a year and a half, which was wild. That alone was crazy, but it's been a good week. But I'm very happy to be back in my favorite place in the world.
Well, producing Pajama Cast Party. I'm glad you got to sing last week because, well, I hosted Cast Party. Now we do every Monday at Birdland, and we had a very special guest at Cast Party on Monday.
She looks just like me. It's crazy.
It's wacky how much
she looks just like me.
No, it was like old times having you there.
It was so much fun. I didn't get to be at the first Cast Party back because I was working on prep stuff for LA, which is not as fun as Cast Party. And so it was so nice to be back. The room was packed. I got there right before it started. The room was packed. The energy was great. It was so great getting to see everybody. And I say it a lot, but Birdland's like a second home. I've been going there since I was this big and you were on your knees talking to me. So it just felt true. It felt so normal to be back. And yet I kept reminding myself that it's been over a year and a half since being there, which is just crazy.
An incredible cast. Some kids. Well, they are kids. I'm 100, so to me they're kids. The cast of Speakeasy, which is currently at Bond 45 here in New York City. I mean, these people are so talented. Jada Temple is, oh my God.
But like gorgeous. Let's take the voice away for a second because her voice was stupid good.
I know.
Gorgeous.
I know. Gorgeous, sings her head off. And a tap dancer from that show named Omar Edwards, who with Tony Glauci on horn did the coolest. He has like a recording of Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody, but real cut up and chopped up and re-edited and rethought and stuff. It was so amazing.
So amazing.
Go see Speakeasy. I have a feeling a lot of those people are going to be joining us here too. But oh my God, what a great show that is.
I need to go see it. I was in love on Monday.
Yeah. And by the way, all the pictures you just saw by Kevin Alvey. Don't think I was not going to say that. We're so lucky for many reasons, but our friend Justin Squiggs Robertson, who is the Broadway caricaturist to the stars, joins us a lot. And he does quick sketches of all of the performers on Pajama Cast Party. So then at the end, we do this big reveal and the fun we have.
The laughter ensues.
It ensues. But boy, never use that word if you're trying to sound manly.
I'm sorry.
Ensues. He's here tonight. And what we sometimes like to do is Ruby secretly installed a camera over his shoulder and we can watch him doing. So let's see if he's drawing right now.
We have to figure out the week where we're going to tell him that there's a camera, Jim, because
yeah, let's keep it to ourselves.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, it's Greenwich Village.
Uh-huh.
It's Washington Square Park. It's Beatniks. It's Beatniks, and it's you and me.
And it's you and me.
This is amazing. Squigs, you are killing me.
You know, I now look forward every week to also what he's going to have on his hand. That's like my favorite. I don't remember when
I need to do
started.
that. I need to do that thing that I was doing in the picture.
Here, hang on. What are you doing? Okay, you're doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm doing, wait, I'm this way.
Now put it back.
Okay. Nope.
Okay, enough of that. So thank you, Squigs. We'll do the big reveal at the end. I think we should get this show started before I totally lose my voice. How about that?
Let's do it.
Now, okay. Here's how you want your bio to sound if you're a performer. You first starred on Broadway at age 9. Then you got your vocal degree from Juilliard. Then you were cast as the leading lady in the very cool and updated Broadway version of West Side Story. Our first guest can say all that because it's all true. Please welcome Shereen Pimentel.
Hi.
Good bio.
Thanks.
What the heck? And you're just graduating from college like this year.
Yeah, I was class of 2020, so graduated.
Amazing. Well, you started so crazy early. You were on Broadway as young Nala in The Lion King.
Yeah. That was my first thing, so yeah.
Was that an incredible experience? First of all, was your family here in New York City?
Yeah, so I was born in the city, and then I moved we live in Teaneck, New Jersey, still to this day.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, 20 minutes away. So I was dancing a whole bunch. No one in my family sings, so my parents were just like, put her in dance classes. Anyone can dance. So I did that for a while, and then I saw The Lion King, and I was like, I want to be in it. As kids, we think that photo.
Look at you in the pink. Hello. Who is cuter than you?
Justice. Love that. Like, as a kid, you're like, I can do anything. So to me, I was like, I can do that. Why not?
Well, I bet you were right, evidently. Now, how did you do 8 shows a week and stay in school? And how does all that work?
Yeah. So after I got it, my parents called the principal and was like, hey, our kid booked a Broadway show. And we want her to stay in school. So I was in public school for the first month where you do rehearsals. My mom picked me up at noon every single day. And then on Wednesday, she would then still pick me up at noon after rehearsals were done. So it was just one day I had to leave early. But all the rest of the days, stayed at school, did the whole thing. And then you only do 4 shows. And then the other 4, you show up for the first act. And then you go home.
That's a good gig.
Yeah, I know.
Even at age 9, that's a good gig.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you got to go to Juilliard, which is just the ultimate. I can't think of a better thing than to be in New York City studying anything in the arts with all the incredible stuff happening around you. That must have been an incredible time.
Yeah, that's really what happened was I grew up my whole life in the city. That was really it. Every small suburb has some kind of city nearby. New York City just happened to be my city. And so I couldn't think of going anywhere else when college came around. I kept thinking I should apply to all these places, cast my net super wide. And at first I did, but I remember getting into one school academically at the beginning of the whole process. And I was like, if I get in nowhere, I can go to this school academically and still be in New York. And I actually really, really want to be in the city. And then, I ended up there.
Was it hard to stay focused with all the stuff around that there is to do? Because I'm sure you were seeing Broadway shows and concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, it was hard to stay focused.
Yeah, but it's also like so great. For me, at least, I felt like I learned more by going outside and meeting all these new people and going to events and seeing people perform in different places, like not just Broadway, but like going to concerts and like going anywhere that there were other people. I feel like I honestly learned more there than I would have in a classroom. And I think that's in any classroom. Like you just, experience.
It's called life.
Yeah.
That. Okay. And then, hello, West Side Story. Yeah. How did the role of Maria come to you?
Photo. I love this photo actually so much.
Look at Isaac.
Oh, yes. Always look at Isaac. He always looks great. So West Side really did come to me. I kept hearing about like this revival, and I was like, my mom kept being like, you should audition for it. You should audition. I was like, Mom, I just, it's slipping through my fingers. Like I'm not being able to catch on to it. And I got an appointment from my agent for the standby in the summer, right before I left on tour to Europe. And so I did that audition, but I was like, I don't think they're going to give it to me. Like, I'm just going to do the audition, do my thing, and head on out and I was going to London. And my first leg was London, and then I got to France. And when I got to France, my agent called me and was like, hey, when you come back, you have another audition. I was like, oh, okay. It seems like this is moving forward. And that's when we kind of switched up the idea from it being a standby ensemble to it being the role. And so I was like touring, because that's kind of what you do, especially like when you're doing a classical music degree for the summer. You go somewhere, you do things, you tour and do stuff. So I had this whole summer planned out. And so we were like fitting in auditions as I was coming in and out of the city. And I booked it the day after the 4th of July. I remember I was full of anxiety. I was working on a material with someone, and she was like, I was told to hold, like we're not going to move forward on scheduling more time to work for your last session. And my mom's she knows everything. She's always there. So she's always on the phone for every situation. And we were talking about it. She's like, just schedule it. And then if we have to pay for it, I don't know, we'll figure it out. I'm like, okay, great. Super supportive, always behind it.
Mom, you win.
Always. But then everyone went radio silent. And so all the 4th of July, I was like thinking about, they cast someone else and all this stuff. And I remember she was like, well, what if you got it? Like, what if you got it? Because they had recorded my entire work session right before my last audition. And I was like, there's no way. No one gets it from a tape. It's not possible. And then the next day they were like, you booked it from the tape. And I called my mom, and she was very happy, but also she was like, I told you, see? She was like, look, you doubted me. She was like, I knew the whole time.
How dare you doubt me?
Exactly.
So you open on Broadway, and 3 weeks later, little thing called COVID happens, and you're shut down.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, but how did you deal with booking this incredible role in one of the most ravishing musicals ever written, to have it basically snatched away?
Yeah. Oh, y'all are pulling out the perfect photos. Another great one. I love this one.
Gorgeous.
But I'm always very honest about this answer. I didn't deal with it very well at first. That night.
But that's what people need to hear.
Yeah.
People need to hear that these heartbreaks, it's not an Instagram world. Everything's not perfect.
Exactly. It's not, on my Instagram, of course, we post the photos. I've missed it. It's been, no. It was like devastating at first. I went to the theater, picked up what I thought I would need within the month.
Right.
And, you know, as we all did, we're like,
right. A whole month without work. What?
Exactly. And I got home and I remember sitting down in my living room and staring at the wall until the sun went down. I just stared at it, didn't do anything, didn't move. And I just couldn't wrap my head around it. Right. Like I did The Lion King when I was a kid. I've been in like the arts my whole life. There's never been a situation where we fully shut down.
Right.
So
and
like
the weird thing was everybody in the world was going through the exact same thing.
Yep. But it was so hard to comprehend that. And then I came home 3 days after the shutdown. I moved back in with my parents. And I will say, even though I didn't love Zoom school, that was probably like the saving grace for like the first few weeks of it helped me. It gave me something to do for the beginning until I could kind of get myself out of my funk of like my small pity party that I threw for myself of, you know, this is hard and I don't like this, you know, as so many of us were doing by ourselves. And then moving into like finding things to do at home, picking up every single hobby you could have. I was picking them up. And I was trying to just kind of go through that. And then it's, you know, obviously it's gotten harder with the devastation that's happened in the whole of the world, but it got easier to be at home and to, you know, learn more about myself and reflect and kind of want to come out the other side of this just like a better person.
Well, there's got to be good news. What's the future of the show?
It's coming. It's coming. It's on its way, which is really exciting. I know I've had messages and people being like, where is it? Where is it? I promise it's coming, which is great. As a lot of people saw, the article came out last week that we got the SVOG. So I'm hoping any day now we'll have some official news for everybody.
What's going to be going through your mind during that first performance? That's going to be freaky for everybody in the arts that finally goes back to work.
Yeah. I've had some friends and talked to some friends who have just been going back, and you know, it's so exciting. It feels. I've had some friends be like, it felt weird to like put on the costume and feel like it was like it's a glove. It's really easy. It's, you know, I didn't forget how to do it. It was like second nature to me. But I think it's going to be very, very exhilarating, but I'm really also excited to see what we're coming back to, like what people we're coming back to. We've changed as people. It's something that I thought about months ago, and then it's even more prevalent as the months and the weeks go by that we're out of work. It's like we've sat and reflected on just everything of just being people and how we deal with other people. And so I'm
hearing those lyrics and hearing those gorgeous melodies, that audience is going to be a big sobby mess. Yeah. And maybe you will too. I don't know. Oh, but that show specifically is just lyrically so ravishing. And I think you're just going to have the greatest time ever. Okay. You got to sing for us.
I am singing.
What are you going to do?
So I'm singing my like tried and true song, which is really funny. It's Migratory V from Myths and Hymns, which some people know I did Myths and Hymns. I did Come to Jesus when we were working on it a few months ago with Master Voices, which was such a great experience. But yeah, I'm doing Migratory V.
Written by
Adam Guettel,
our third guest tonight.
Yeah.
Just randomly. I can't wait to hear you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
Sing it.
Yeah. We sail above the weather. We search the ocean floor. We rival all creation, still yearning for more. But can we fly together could sing. A single voice in whispered prayer can only pray to travel there, but all as one resound the everlasting sound and sing our salvation. Aloft and information, a migratory bee, how wonderful, if that's what God would see.
I mean, you're just extraordinary. That voice, my God.
Thank you.
What a thrill. What a thrill. I didn't even write it, and I'm thrilled.
I love it. It's such a great song. I found it actually while I was working on my college auditions. I found Audra's version of it. Yeah. If anybody knows anything about me, you know I'm obsessed with Audra. And I was so surprised that I thought I had listened to her entire album, and I was so surprised when I found this one, and I was like, oh, I have to sing this song.
It's gorgeous on you. Well, I can't thank you enough.
Of course.
I will just continue thanking you for joining us here. And come to Birdland, come hang with us anytime. And I will be cheering, and I know tons of people in our audience will be cheering at West Side Story.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
You're always invited. Thank you so much. God, that was thrilling. She just graduated from college. So depressed. Okay. Don't forget, you can donate to the Pajama Cast Party Fund to keep us on the air. Venmo, PayPal. You can share right now. Now, would it kill you to share? Just click share on Facebook. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, you can subscribe, or as the kids say, subscribe. Thank you. Okay, my next guest started performing all over New England with her dad, which is, I have to hear more about that. And she's forged a very vibrant career as a trombonist, a vocalist, and an educator all over the world. Please welcome Hailey Brinnel.
Hi.
Hailey.
So nice to be here. Sorry, I'm not wearing PJs.
I know. Very few people wear pajamas. Every once in a while it happens, and we all have a good time. Now, Hailey, thank you for coming. Thank you for doing this, because we've never met in person. But when I was introducing you, I mentioned that you toured New England with your dad.
Yeah.
Tell me everything, because I worked with my mother. I had an act with my mother. So I want to know how it went for you.
Yeah, my dad, and I don't want to make it sound more luxurious than it was, but my dad, ever since I can remember, he's been a piano player and a singer, a lot of, great American songbook standards, very Rat Pack-ish, at some clubs, restaurants, bars. I started sitting in with him when I was about, 6 or 7, singing, I think, LOVE and Straighten Up and Fly Right were two of them I would sing. But when I was 12, he thought I might be ready to join him actually singing and playing drums, believe it or not. So he took me on his gigs, and we had duo gigs all around. A lot of, restaurants and bars that I probably shouldn't have been
right.
looking at.
Was it a happy experience?
Oh yeah,
okay, good.
It was amazing. And well, I feel lucky to be able to have a connection with my dad in that sort of performing capacity.
I had a great connection with my mother, but I had to fire her. That was awkward. I don't advise it. Not as my mother, but as my accompanist.
Right. Yeah. If my dad is watching, I'll keep him on his toes.
Exactly. Just threaten every once in a while. So you play drums, but how did trombone come into your life?
Trombone in 5th grade or 4th grade, we got to the instrument petting zoo and they called it, where you got to try all the instruments in music class. And I wanted to play the euphonium. I don't know why. I think I liked that it was big and had a lot of windy tubes. And I went home and told my parents that. And my brother, who's 6 years older than me, who had been playing saxophone, said, no, you can't be in jazz band. If you play euphonium, play the trombone instead. So I just listened to him, and here we are.
Well, can we all just thank him?
Yes. Thank you, Paul.
I don't know if there's a lot of call. Is there call for euphonium? I don't know.
In like military bands and certain orchestra pieces.
It's a lyric in Music Man, so maybe you could be in
yes.
So you have this gorgeous album that peaked at number 13 on Amazon's jazz chart. I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles. That is the cutest. Oh. The cutest.
Thank you.
But you really seem to have that 20s jazz in your bones. Who did you grow up listening to?
A lot of different people. Ella was a really early influence for me. Betty Carter came a little bit later, but yeah, I listened to more like Ella Fitzgerald, Dinah Washington, Sarah Vaughan, and got into more old school swing, but also a lot of Louis Armstrong and or Ellington, early big band things.
You really seem to have that history in your bones to me.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You also took part in the North Sea Jazz Festival in Rotterdam. That must have been the coolest thing ever.
That was so fun.
Wait, where are you?
Yeah.
Oh,
that
you're
was
the one with the trombone.
Yeah, no, I'm the girl with the trombone in the second.
Yes, the one in black.
Yeah. But yeah, that was fun. That was playing a Stan Kenton tribute, Artistry and Rhythm. We played through the whole album. That was really, really amazing. And then just got to hang at the North Sea Festival, which is its own amazing experience.
I have no doubt. But you teach, but I don't know what ages. What?
A lot of ages.
Oh,
yeah. I've taught, I teach basically kindergarten and up. I've taught general music. I'm not doing that so much anymore. But I teach private lessons. I teach at the University of the Arts. I actually run a 1 day a week middle school band program, like a contemporary band program, in Philly.
I'm interested in hearing about your melodic approach to scat singing. This is something I have worked in. I've worked at Birdland for 18 years. If you held a gun to my head, I could not scat. And by the way, please don't. It's like, how do you teach somebody to scat?
There's a few different ways to go about it. I mean, it really comes from listening and transcribing, but the way that melodic approach to scat singing is a masterclass that I taught for the first time at the National Jazz Festival in 2020, right before the shutdown. But it's all about taking a melody that you already know and manipulating the rhythm and melodic content of that melody in order to start creating a solo. So it's not coming from a place of theory, it's coming from a place of listening and just taking simple steps of tweaking melodic phrasing in order to solo.
So that's why I get scared, because I don't have a theoretical background and I sound like an idiot. I would be very self-conscious, I think.
I think you'd be better than you expect, especially if you've been listening to jazz at Birdland for that many years.
You might be so wrong. Well, okay. Show us what you do so well.
Sure. This is Joe, by the way, lurking in the background. Joe Plowman.
That's Joe Plowman.
Yes. Joe, amazing bass player. We're actually recording another record right now that'll be out next year. And this is, I guess, the first sneak peek of one of the tracks we recorded. We're going to play the tune Candy.
Which I love.
Yeah, I learned that tune from the Manhattan Transfer way back. That was my first exposure to it. Yeah. All right.
Okay, sing it.
Sure. Hold on, I have to get my horn ready. I forgot a mic stand, so here we are. All right, Joe. Candy, I call my sugar candy because I'm sweet on candy and candy's sweet on me. He understands me, my understanding candy, and candy's always handy when I need sympathy. Oh, I wish that there were 4 of him, so I could love much more of him. He has taken my complete heart, got a sweet tooth for my sweetheart candy. I call my sugar candy. Someday I'll take my candy and make him mine, oh mine. Oh, candy, I call my sugar candy because I am sweet on candy and candy sweet on me. He'll understand me, my understanding candy, and candy's always handy when I need some sympathy. Oh, I wish that there were 4 of him, so I could love much more of him. He has taken my complete heart, got a sweet tooth for my sweetheart candy. I call my sugar candy. Someday I'll take my candy and make him mine, oh mine. La, da, 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 da. I'm gonna take my candy. I'm gonna take my candy. I'm gonna take my candy and make him mine, oh mine.
Hailey and Joe, absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Holy cow. Okay, you have to come to Birdland and hang with us.
I would love nothing more. We would love nothing more. We're right down the street now. So
we're there every single Monday.
Amazing. We have to visit.
You do. I've only been there 18 years, so I'm a newcomer. But we would love to have you. And awesome. Geez, thank you so much for entertaining us so royally.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much for having us.
We'll see you soon, really soon, I hope.
Yes, please.
Joe, you too.
I'll be there.
Perfect. Thanks,
Bye.
Scott. Bye. Oh, that was swell. Just to reiterate, Venmo, PayPal, it's the only way we can do this. $5, $10, $1 million. Okay, so our next guest is one of the smartest and creative people I've ever known in my life. I'm not alone in that opinion either. Adam Guettel has been called many things. I should just leave it at that, including the savior of the American theater. What the hell kind of...
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Before you do your full intro, keep chatting for a second. I'm getting our next guest back.
Oh, we lost him. Okay. So, yeah, we need him back because this is, I don't even know where to start about Adam. Keep me apprised, Ruby. I've known Adam since I first moved here, which was in the early 90s. And we'll talk about all that. But you're just gonna love him. Here's what I'll say about him. People that don't know him don't know how funny he is and how kooky he is. They think he's very serious and he's very kind of in his brain and all that stuff. But I've always found him to be one of the funnier people on the planet. And I know he's gonna, if we ever get him back, God, that's scary. Do you have any questions? Why I choose to do this for a living? I know my friend.
Jim, we're all good.
Oh, good. Oh, thank you, Lord. Well,
I just didn't want you to do your wonderful intro without our guests hearing the intro.
I get it. Okay, so people have called him the savior of the American theater, and I just think that is a hell of a lot of pressure to put on one human being. But pressure is the price you pay for getting to be Adam Guettel. Would you please welcome him to our screen, Adam Guettel?
Hi.
Where did you go?
Jesus. Well, no, I watched it on YouTube on my mainframe computer over there.
But now you're here?
Yeah, I mean, to say that somebody is the savior of anything, they have to be around a little more than I've been. I don't know how you could be a savior of something with like 1.5 shows.
No, you have more than 1.5. Okay, stop. Okay, look, we're going to get to those shows later.
We're not statisticians. 1.7, 1.5. Who's counting?
Yeah, evidently you. My first memory of you is 1991. You were in your early 20s, and I was in my early 70s. Now, I knew you came from a very fancy showbiz family, but to me, you were shockingly funny and open and loving at that very young age.
All gone.
It's all gone. But here's the thing. I found a picture.
Oh, great. That's it. What?
That's it. I know.
What the fuck? Wait.
Julie Warner.
Are we allowed to say that word?
Yes. Julie Warner.
Totally.
Amanda Green. Brian Green. Me. And young you.
And I would say that you're a little closer to John Davidson there than Jim Caruso.
That's always been my dream.
I know it is. You'd like to be close to John Davidson right this minute.
Hey, he did Pajama Cast Party.
Did he?
He did.
Oh my God. Well, tonight is full of kismet sort of happenstance. I mean, the EL thing is just a phenomenon. I'm glad you brought that up, but everybody's last name ends in EL.
Isn't that weird?
I mean, it's beyond weird. It's almost creepy. It's just downright strange. And then how brilliant those two women are. Shereen is a really spectacular new artist, and wow, what a sound! And there's something so accessible about her. She's so unguarded as an artist, when she's singing. And I'm very grateful that she sang my song so well. And but I mean, when she's singing anything, really.
Have you seen West Side yet?
No.
We have to go.
Would you buy that for me?
Yes, I'll buy that ticket for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So wait. When we met, I knew all this stuff about you, but what I didn't know is that you had been this very fancy boy soprano at the Met. as a little kid, like that kid on top.
Well, I was, I'm the kid up there. It looks like I have sideburns, which was not physically possible. So that's what that picture looks like. The hell kind of a photo is that?
An article from the New York Times.
I'm doing that typical like pointing at the music at the piano thing, which is just why? Please, God, why? No, but can I just say, both Hailey and Shereen came up through music from the very beginning, and it is something that it's inculcated into you, engendered into you so deeply from such a young age, and then. I don't know. It's just interesting to me that both of those terrific artists came up the same way. I mean, I was doing it from such a young age. When I was 2 years old, I would come home from the park singing 59th Street Bridge song with an eye patch, by the way, with an eye patch and long curly blonde hair and pink plastic glasses. And people would say, "Poor thing, is she blind?" And I'd be like, "Slow down, you move too fast. Gotta make in my carriage." Because I had an operation on my eye. I had an operation on my eye, and I was like this, like, hey,
Did? Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, I've come through such difficult stuff, Jim. Really have had it tough.
But I know you have. But the weird thing is, which I also didn't know, at age 13, you faked the end of your career as a boy soprano.
I know it sounds unlikely, but I just couldn't stand the pace and the madness of being in operas as a boy soprano. I did kind of freak out. Like I had like a very minor, like nervous breakdown and I just started faking that my voice was changing, like trying to talk really low and stuff. I got a merkin so I could seem like I was developing. Is that too much? Are we on air? Is this live already? I thought this was just the warm-up talk.
This is the warm-up. This is the rehearsal.
Okay.
But you were afraid your voice would crack.
Yeah, and I just got tired of the stress of it. And I love singing and performing. Once I became a tenor, which I have unbecome since then. But I didn't have to worry about singing high because I could sing really high. But when I was a boy soprano, I was really a second soprano. But because I could act and I looked the part sometimes, they would stick me in things where I had to sing an A, and I developed all kinds of wild superstitions to try to beg the spheres and the gods to let me not crack, and all these other beautiful, perfect young boy sopranos could sing that way without any problem. So I had lots of witchcraft going on, and I just got tired of the stress.
I just love that it had to. I think all of our fear is that we're going to crack. Just crack up.
Yeah, sure.
And that it started for you so early.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, at the age of 10. I mean, I knew that I wasn't up to snuff, or maybe even up to pitch, but I did the best I could. And it was a wonderful experience. I mean, just like Hailey and Shereen were saying, it's an incredible way to grow up around music and around people who are making it on a professional level.
And adults.
Who are making shows from nothing. And then by the end, it's wonderful, and it just gives you a sense of how to respect the process and all of those things that are so much part of our lives.
I back when we met, you were just funny Adam to me, funny weird Adam in a red suit. I remember, but all of a sudden at these spectacular parties, you started to bring out your guitar and sing songs that you were writing, and I was like, "Wait, what? You write?" I had no idea that Funny Adam was.
He's not just a trust fund kid. He could play the guitar.
What's this?
No,
but I was like that. I was like, and you were like working with yodely stuff that ended up being in Floyd Collins, and it was odd and beautiful. And of course, your voice is stupid. That was
all, but you don't know because you're not from here. All Jews from the Upper West Side can yodel. It's a thing. You didn't know that.
Did not know that. Of course, for our audience, your mother is Mary Rogers, who co-wrote Once Upon a Mattress, one of the all-time beloved musicals. Your grandfather, Richard Rogers, won 34 Tonys, 15 Oscars.
What?
2 Grammys and 2 Pulitzers.
Oh God.
Was there ever such a thing for you as just being mediocre, Adam?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's basically most of my day. That's my day. No, I'm very familiar with it. I'm very comfortable in it. Those are my sheets. Those are my pillows.
I don't believe you. The expectation and the pressure to achieve something overwhelming. Did you put that on yourself, or is it just what I'm now putting on you?
Well, I will try to draw a line between the expectations that I have on myself, because I don't think many people much care really, and I think that's not self-effacing to say so. We're all pretty much just interested in ourselves, and my expectations on myself are fairly high, because I would like to at least be in the ballpark, and the blessings that I do have in this life because of my grandfather have allowed me to take my time and be very strict about certain things, and take longer than most people take, which has given me the reputation for being very slow, and I think I deserve that reputation. But what I probably don't deserve is for someone to suppose that I'm not doing a lot of work. I do a lot of throwing things out and not thinking something's interesting enough, or even finding out that something turns out to be something someone else wrote already. Like those have to get thrown out. I mean, there's a lot of things you got to do before you release something into the world.
Yeah. Well, look, there was no expectation for me and my family, and I've lived up to that. So that's.
I don't think you have yet, but I think you might.
They were just thrilled I wasn't in a corner eating paste.
Paste.
I remember you and I were talking once about your family position, where you fell in the family position, and you coined a word. Do you remember that word?
No.
Antisappointment.
Okay. Yeah, I really nailed that.
That is hilarious. And you also said, I need to work. I need to have something to pass down to my forefathers.
Yes, exactly.
Why do I remember all these quotable quotes from you?
Because of this. That's why.
And me drinking Coca-Cola and coffee. I remember.
You need help in that department. Jesus.
I remember everything that happened at Studio 54. So there you
go.
Really? Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I was.
It wasn't El Morocco.
So. Hate you right now. Okay. So one of the thrills of my life was taking my mother to see Light in the Piazza at Lincoln Center. My mother loved Adam Guettel, ladies and germs.
I loved her too. She was so beautiful and well turned out and fun and lovely. She was really good.
That's sweet. Well, she sure loved that show, and I saw it many, many times. That must have been such a crazy, huge time for you, to say nothing of, and then winning the two Tonys for the show. Was it, I have to think that success and that outward, people like really supporting it, and you was maybe more relief than we could ever know, coming from where you came from.
It's a perfectly good word. There's no better word. It was an enormous relief. And it actually allowed me to quit smoking, which I had a problem with quitting. Or as Mark Twain would say, it's easy to quit smoking. I've done it 250 times. So I was able to quit smoking because I quit on June 18th, 2005. It was a week after the Tonys. Because I thought, every time I want a cigarette, just think about the fact you just won 2 Tonys and see if you can not smoke a cigarette until you don't want one anymore. And it worked. I haven't touched a cigarette since June 18th, 2005. And if I win another one or win something good, I might be able to quit drinking. So I'm just, that's how my ambition works.
People, please find it in your heart to give Adam.
It really was a relief because just to be able to get something, and as you know, as everybody watching this show knows, it's to get something from conception to the stage, no matter what the stage may be, and then to get it to Broadway is a complicated process with a lot of moving parts, a lot of people, and a lot of egos and everything, and talent, and it's just the most complicated process, and that's one of the reasons it's so much fun to be involved with, and so frustrating. But to get something on and just know that it was basically what I intended was enormously satisfying, still is, and I think that maybe not before people are blessed enough to get to that point, but certainly afterwards they realize that that's one of the reasons we do it, is just sort of, wow, this is such a complicated machine.
When you get something on stage, it's a miracle. It almost has, at that point, it has nothing to do with talent. It's just all the things.
And I know it's pretty banal, but it really does have a lot to do with luck. I mean, and I've had plenty of both, bad and good. I mean, the opening night of Missing Hymns, one of our leads broke her leg and was so there was just a work light on the stage, and we were supposed to maybe go on Rosie's show, and her musical director was going to come see it opening night, and we didn't have an opening night. So there's that, that happens right and left for all of us.
Right. And
many of the people who are watching, I'm sure, and I know you've had nothing but bad luck, and I'm hoping that changed tonight. But
I mean, hello.
But then I've had enormous luck in getting something on stage that's that unlikely. The Lightning Piazza is not a very likely show in a lot of ways, and one of the reasons that I stuck very carefully to doing it the way I thought it should be done was that I thought that was the way that we could maybe maximize our luck in getting it on stage, i.e. really focus on the fact that it's an unapologetically romantic score, that the concepts at play are largely about love, about getting it, having it, losing it, and that the music for those two things is really the same music. It's just contextualized differently, and that everyone in the audience will be able to identify with that, was the basic bet that we laid down. And I felt it was important to really make a bet like that with a show that was that unlikely.
Yes. Well, you're kind of unlikely as your stock in trade. Myths and Hymns, by the way, this past year, Ted Sperling conceived and conducted a 4-part digital production of Myths and Hymns, one of your greatest projects.
Is that Ted in the picture lying there on the feathers?
That's Ted.
That's Ted. Gosh.
And Marie Osmond, strangely, next to him. But this project combines Greek tales with an Episcopalian hymnal. That is not normal. That is not.
I think it could even be considered sacrilege. I haven't gotten into too much trouble, but one of the nice things is that some of the songs get done in churches in the South and Southwest, and that's really a fun thing about it. The way the show kind of fits together was that Tina Landau, the director, came over one day and said, "What are you working on?" And I said, "Well, I've got this stack of things over here and this stack of things." And she said, "Well, play me everything." So I played her everything, and she said, "I hadn't even thought of it." She said, "Well, maybe they could go together." And we realized, over the next few months that really they do, in a way, in that hymns are who we would have ourselves be, who we would like to be, and the myths are who we actually are and how we actually behave.
Wow.
And that's about as narrative as the project gets. The rest of it is up to the director and the performers, and in this case, Ted Sperling, who produced it beautifully, and all the great illustrators. And it's free on YouTube. It comes in 4 chapters, so if you hate it, you don't have to watch that much of it. You can just...
They're not going to hate it. The cast, Carpathia Jenkins, Michael Kilgore, Norm Lewis, Renee Fleming, Kelly O'Hara,
Michael McElroy,
Cheyenne Jackson, who's so good on Hero on the End.
A real homunculus. I mean, he's ugly, that Cheyenne.
I know, he's a pig.
What happened to him? Did he get in a terrible elevator accident? What happened? It's just awful. It must be awful to be him.
And that voice, oh my God. Shireen, Dove Cameron, Jennifer Holliday. Did you ever think Jennifer Holliday would sing?
Oh, God. That was just like, it was like chewing, like being 8 years old and chewing a piece of the best gum. And then we're watching her do that song. She made the song so much better than it is. That's all I can say.
It's great. You guys at home, find it on YouTube. The 4 different segments of Myths and Hymns. It is absolutely, each song is like a short film. Some are animated, some are very simple. All are gorgeous. The orchestrations. Is that Don Sebesky?
Well, it was Don Sebesky and Jamie Lawrence, and Jamie was absolutely central in redoing it for this reimagining that Ted did. Jamie was in the studio 12 hours a day for months because of COVID. Everyone was singing from home into various apparati. I mean, mostly iPhones or megaphones. Who knows how they were recording it and sending it in. And Jamie had to line it up. It was a Herculean task just administratively.
It was thrilling. I thought, I'll watch a couple of these just to kind of get in the mood for, talking to you. Because I need to be,
You got to get in the mood.
Yeah, for you. I watched every single frame. It is so beautiful. Here's what I think about you. Your creativity with words astounds me. It always has. You once wrote to me that you were on a cruise ship with your parents, and you called it a floating liver spot. That's funny. You're like the Joan Rivers of composers. And you also said that somebody we know in common had herpes of the soul.
Yeah. Well, it was you really that I meant,
but who, I mean, you've grown up with the smartest people, the most literate people around you your whole life. But who, can you point to somebody and say, they gave me my love for words? Your mom? Steve Sondheim?
I mean, behind me I have, if I may just adjust the angle a little bit, that is my favorite part of the of my library, and it's all the books on language. And so some came from Bert Sheveloff, who wrote Forum and The Frogs, and was a terrific friend of Steve Sondheim. The other ones are from Marianne Madden, who was a very close friend of Steve Sondheim's and my mom's, and the other ones are from my mom. They're just the word books, and I've always loved those, but I did grow up around a lot of those people who were so articulate that they didn't really have time to finish their sentences before they started the next one. And I am not that quick-minded. I generally just start with the end of my sentence and then do another end. And no one gets what I'm trying to say, but that's how smart I am.
That must be why I enjoy you. The ease that you have with language, most writers would kill for that. And it's one of the things I love most about you. When I told, the throngs, many of our fans, the thousands of fans really, that you were doing the show, they all said the same thing. What's next? What's next?
Oh, yeah. There's some things. There really are some things.
I know.
All right. So one is based on a wonderful movie by Danny Boyle called Millions, and the show is finished, and we are in the process of talking to a couple theaters about putting it on in a sort of provisional way to get it up on its feet, and then we have some pretty well-known producers who are interested, and we would love to bring it in. It's about two boys who lose their mother to cancer. The youngest is 8 years old, and his brother is 12, and they have to move and go to a subdivision outside of Albuquerque and start again. They don't know anyone, and so they're just sort of trying to sew their hearts back together, and then they discover a huge bag of money just falls from the sky practically, and they don't agree about what to do with it. And one of them, the older one, wants to invest it because Mom died, Dad could die. We need to invest this. We got to have a nest egg here. And then the younger kid is, no, we have to give it away because if you give the money away, then you get so much more back. And both very legitimate and justifiable points of view. And it turns out the money is stolen, and the person who stole it is a murderer and knows that they have it. And so for the entire show, they're running for their lives and sewing their hearts back together. And it's a really beautiful story about, a boy, or really two boys who just want to be good. And you don't see that a lot these days. And that's the kind of thing I believe in. for that reason, I think it is unlikely. But at the same time, it's a 4-quadrant show, as they say, rather crassly. It's a show that should appeal to all kinds of people, and not just theater insiders. And I think it's some of my best work, and it's very propulsive, and it's not all this violin stuff and oh God, give me a break. It's quite propulsive and fun. And then the other show that's basically done is called Days of Wine and Roses, and it's based on a play by J.P. Miller, and it was turned into a lovely movie, a heartbreaking movie with Jack Lemmon and Lee Remick, and it's a love story. And the obstacle is addiction, and one of them recovers and one of them doesn't. And so again, cheery, cheerful, light fare.
You couldn't write Thoroughly Modern Millie?
I couldn't, because it was written and it wasn't written by me. I could not write it.
Oh, that was not you.
No.
No.
I mean, I wrote somewhat Modern Millie, and it didn't do well. And then someone totally bested me. You
wrote Thoroughly Modern Lily.
Kind of Modern Millie.
Kind of.
I wrote Antediluvian Millie. There was a whole series of Millie.
That's a good rhyme. That.
Oh God, yeah.
Hello. You were nominated for a Tony for the score of The To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, that was a crazy nomination. I mean, I felt like I had to apologize to all the legitimate scores that also got nominated, because mine was an incidental score. And when I say incidental, I mean incidental. It was a nice score, but it was supporting the action. But I was very honored to be there, and I just regret that I had so many chins, or because the way I was sitting when they mention your name, I think a lot of the people really thought it through, and they were like, I don't know what they're like, and I was like, that was not good.
Are you saying it was the one time you were unappealing?
No, I'm not saying that.
I'll say it. You've had such great mentors, and now you're inspiring students. You're teaching.
I love teaching.
I know you do. Is it so stimulating?
It's an essential part of my life. It's a net gain. There's something about it that really purifies me. I mean, it feels like some kind of antioxidant almost, spiritually. There's no script required. God is on my shoulder. The students, the young artists, any age artists, they just bring they bring the itinerary and the script with their artistry. And I like to work concentrically outwards from what is sort of at the core, or appears to be at the core of someone's work within a song, as a performer within a song, as a writer, and just try to sort of take them on their terms and then use what I know, or what I think I know, to help maximize that. I think that teaching for me is a kind of the concept I would use is that on the one hand, you have a person's, an artist's signature, who they are, who they come into the world with. And on the other hand, you have technique. And one of the fallacies and misapprehensions is that technique will somehow suppress originality or naturalism or being relatable and all that. And of course, technique is what emancipates it and liberates it and allows an artist or a songwriter to end up either making a character or making a good song. This camera thing is, I'm pretty dyslexic with it. I'm trying to do a triangle, but God, it's hard. And then or a life. I mean, you have the ego here and you have discipline here. And if you get them into a feedback loop, you get a life.
I mean, to me, those kids are so lucky to hear the messages that you've gotten from the people you've gotten them from, to pass that on, to pass on what you already know, the deep knowledge that you have in your own self. You've done this at SMU, NYU, Harvard, Yale. Have you been to my alma mater?
Wait, the Don Bosco School of Electronics? Really?
Richland Community College in Richardson, Texas. Anybody?
I would love to teach there. Can you hook me up? I mean, I'd love to.
Oh, I can make a call. I got an honorary driver's ed degree. So
really,
You're
remind
welcome.
me never to. Note to self: never drive with Jim. You know, no, I just love it so much, and it really. So I'm starting to teach here at home. I have this large open space, and no furniture, and I've just started to ramp it up again now that we're not, now that we can, take our masks off and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you told me we could talk about anything.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about your obsession with watches.
Okay.
Do people know this? I don't think
Some
people
do, but yeah, I talk about watches morning
You
and
pulled
night.
out the most extraordinary watches the other night when we had dinner. I was like, "What the hell? These are works of art."
Yeah, they really are.
How did that happen?
Well, I mean, perhaps on the coarsest level, watches are made by hand, very, very carefully and very beautifully when they're beautifully made, and just like shows and operas and musicals and performances, they're meant to last for hundreds of years and give people pleasure and understanding and have meaning for hundreds of years. So that may or may not be. That may or may not hold water, but it sounds elegant. So anyway, but the other thing is that I've always been fascinated by the passage of time, and maybe that's related to the fact that I always feel behind and slow with my work and so forth. But when I was 7 or just 8, I was in my first year at camp. And those days you went to camp for 2 months, and I loved it. All these kids were like, "Mommy, Dad, I've got to go home. I'm homesick." I was like, I am not. I was camp sick the whole year when I wasn't at camp. Because we could just have fun and we grew all our own food and raised the pigs and it was just great.
Oh God! What camp was this?
It was called Treetops in the Adirondacks. Just an unbelievably great place. And I went for 6 summers. I insisted on going even when I was 19, 20, 21. I was just, everyone else was 8 and 9, but I just loved it so much. And so one night in my first year, this kid who was in the tent with me, one of my tent mates, had a watch, a mechanical watch that was glow in the dark. I'd never seen it before. And I did his chores all summer in order to wear his watch at night when we were sleeping. I have to give it back to him during the day. But I would just lie there and under my sheets and look at this thing glowing away and ticking away. And I don't know. I've never not been fascinated by them.
I love that. And because of a glow-in-the-dark watch.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just absolutely beautiful. I mean, I've always liked a nice watch. But since that night, I'm following all these watchmakers on Instagram. And you made me look at watches in such a new, swell way.
And there are some incredible young watchmakers who are doing incredible things and really changing the industry. And I won't get too much into it, but there's a whole, there's so many subsets in this world, and the internet has only given us access to them.
Cool. I'm done. You're just fascinating as always and funny.
What fun to talk to you.
I know. Do you have anything you need to play us from your studio? Do you need to turn anything on?
Oh, I am in the middle of some things. I'm having a lot of fun with work. I'm doing a lot of improvs and I've gone ahead and bitten the billet and broken the machine. I sort of have to break the machine every time I start new things and retool the factory and not do what I did before. And
I bet
that's often pretty painful at first because you have nothing left to say with the old machine, but you don't have a new machine yet. And it's a difficult passage because you're not sure if you ever will have something new. But I feel like I've squeaked through and now I'm in a new terrain with a new machine. So,
well, each one of your shows are so different and unique and so on your world. I mean, Floyd Collins was, where was that, Kentucky?
Yeah, there were so few cavers at Beth Israel.
No cavers.
The speedwalking community was so small. No, I love doing something because it's a great excuse. You can just write what you want because You're not writing about your own milieu. So you don't have to be, and it all comes down to Steve Sondheim, as we know, everything does. He is the great oracle, and I don't mean that. By the way, if you look carefully at that picture, there's something in my teeth. I'm not kidding you. There really is.
Can we blow it up, Ruby?
No, it's in there. I was like, that was in New York Magazine. I was like, how could you do that?
Please, I Photoshopped pictures I put on my Facebook page. The least they could have done.
Yeah. Anyways, it all comes back to him, and I'll say this in closing, and I have to remember what I was going to say. My words, my choice of shows, all in some way have to do with knowing that if I want to make any space for myself and for what I want to do in this world, I can't try to encroach on what he does, because there's no hope of succeeding there. And so, I went pretty far afield. I mean, I went to Barron County, Kentucky. He probably will get there one day, but thank God I got, I was like, well, at least he hasn't done this show. And although he did know about the material, but he hadn't written about it.
Oh, I love that show. Oh my gosh, I loved Floyd Collins. We went to Philadelphia. Did I go with you? I feel like I went with you.
Well, we were going together in those days.
We were dating.
Yeah. It was lovely.
See, that's something people don't know.
And I developed that show at University of the Arts, where Hailey teaches.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Great school.
It's a great school.
Camille Paglia, a brilliant scholar.
Adam, I love you so much for doing that and for taking your time. And I know you don't do a lot of these things, and
I'm irrepressible. I would do them every minute if people ask. So thank you for asking.
You're on every week if you want.
Okay.
That might be annoying. Annoying for you. I love you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're at home and you are sitting on your couch or in your bed, just start applauding for Adam Guettel. Deserves it.
Oh, wow.
I love you, my friend.
Thank you. Love you. Bye. Talk to you soon.
Bye. One of the most he's an original. He's an original. Oh, that was fun. Funny Adam. Oh, Ruby.
Oh, Jim. How great was that?
I mean, honestly, we know a lot of great people. I know a lot of great people. We all do. But the second I met him, I just thought, this is somebody so unique and so funny and so charming with so many gifts, but also so loving, and has been such a wonderful friend to me, and just means the world that he joined us. I love that.
Maybe next week you can do one of his songs.
Come to me. Yeah, I think Hero and Leander would be good for me. We're done. I mean, we have some housekeeping to do here. Subscribe, share, wherever that is, wherever the share button is.
But your favorite thing is...
Oh, I know. Subscribe.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Share.
Mm-hmm.
And donate. Venmo, PayPal. So that we can bring you more amazing stuff.
Venmo, PayPal, or as our dear friend Julie Halston likes to say, Venmo and Pen Pal.
Yes. Yes.
That is my favorite.
Here's good news. It's the end of the show. However, do we have a little something from Squigs?
Yes, we do, Jim. Put on your glasses.
Here we go.
Okay, you ready?
Quick sketches by Justin Squigs Robertson. And by the way, you can find him on his website. His work is genius. He will do your family. He will do your opening night. He is good to go, and he's starting to get busy. So get on it. Christmas gifts. I'm saying.
It's not. People say, "Oh, it's too early." It's never too early to start planning your Christmas gifts.
Oh no, especially if you're having something done, special.
Yeah, so, and I mean, it's Christmas in July right now, so if you want to gift somebody a Christmas in July gift, Squiggs has got you covered.
Yep. Let's see it.
Okay, I have a feeling everything's gonna have very good hair. Ready?
Oh, good. Let's do it.
Bam.
Yes. I see the star balloons. I see Adam with his merkin. Oh, this is fantastic. Justin Squiggs Robertson, you're a genius.
Thank you, Squiggs, as always.
The best. Next week is going to be very special. An up-and-coming musical theater star and the winner of the Broadway World Next On Stage competition, Jackson Perry. Country crooner extraordinaire, Randy Austin. And Tony winner, Stephanie J. Block. Come on. It's going to be spectacular. I thank you all for watching. I thank Ruby for all the hard work. I thank our guests. They're spectacular. Every single one of them. Thank you. And we'll see you next week. Come see us at Birdland on Monday and then watch us on Wednesday. So much to think about.
Is that it, Jim? You were just staring. You didn't say bye or anything. I wasn't sure if you just wanted to gaze more into the camera.
Oh, I thought you thought I was frozen. Yeah, I'm done. I'm out.
You're done? Should we wave to the people?
Thanks for watching Pajama Cast Party. To follow us on YouTube, just hit subscribe. Click on that little bell and we'll keep you updated on future shows. You can also follow us on Instagram at Jim Caruso's Cast Party. The end.